Hi and welcome to Alistair Davies Golf. Today's video is all about the release. I'm going to talk to you about two different types of release, what we would class as the square release and the roll release. So in essence, when I'm talking about roll release, I'm talking about the club head rotating and rolling through impact and the wrists and arms rotating and rolling through impact. And when I'm talking about the square release, it's more of the club coming down in what I class as a shut position and kind of hanging back, leaning back with the shaft and producing a square position at contact. So one has definitely got more rotation and rotary to it, the other one's much more linear up and down. Now there are benefits and negatives to both types. And if we look at kind of Tiger Woods back in the kind of 90s and the start of his career, 90s and the 2000s, he definitely had more of this kind of action going on in his golf swing. And if you remember back in those days, there was often times when he would hit a 9-iron or a wedge and he'd fly the green and then he'd come up short. Because when we're trying to control the club this way, we're producing different amounts of dynamic loft on the club at impact, which means sometimes you're hitting a 9-iron like a 7-iron, sometimes you're hitting it like a wedge. So you can get various different flights on the golf ball. So the trajectory will go from kind of high to low and the shots will go from long to short quite easily with this simple pattern. From a body point of view, when we're doing it this way, the only negative for me is you're going to have to lean back a little bit more. And that's not going to be so good for your lower right side of your back. If done successfully and consistently, then there's no reason to change. The advantage of the kind of square release is you tend to hit the golf ball fairly straight, but the distance control and trajectory control will vary. Now when we're looking at the roll release, we tend to hit the ball fairly consistent from a distance point of view, apart from when we don't strike it very well, you know, real fats and thins or toes and heels. But if we get a good contact, we're delivering the similar amount of loft every single time. Directionally, obviously we're going to now be more wild. And obviously if we hit a massive hook, it'll go further, and a massive slice, it'll go shorter. But if you're talking a good player, the variance in club face will only change by a few degrees. Then the distance will be fairly consistent. And that's kind of what Tiger went to with Hank Haney. He changed from kind of this motion. He also changed his backswing plane also, but he changed that motion to a more rolled release and a more rotary kind of arc to a swing. And that's when his distance control got better, but you might say his directional control got worse. And you could look at his records over both periods in time and see which was better. He definitely had a lot more flyers, if you want to call them that, during his early days as a professional when he was doing the first method. So there's pluses and minuses to both. My preference would be the roll release. I like to see a lot of rotation with the body. I like to see a lot of rotation with the arms. I want to see it matched. I don't want to see throwaway with the hands or club head. I want to see the body and arms work pretty much together. I'm going to show you now, if I can, two small shots, little chip shots, because it's difficult for me to do both releases. You know, I'm not a PGA Tour player. I'm a coach. I can demonstrate things, but I'm not as good as those guys. So let's try and show you a little shot where I try and feel like I'm going to give you a body and arms roll, release. And you see that one there, pretty straight in direction, a tiny bit maybe a right to left movement, but pretty straight generally. Now I'm going to try and show you what I would call the square release. So I'm definitely going to try and get my body working this way. I'm going to try and get the golf club kind of staying more closed on the way down like this, and then leaning back to provide a square club face again. Okay, so didn't quite time it 100% perfectly. The ball went slightly left. It felt definitely weaker from my body point of view. I didn't enjoy the feel of my body because my body felt like it went back too much. It's not a feel I enjoy in the golf swing, but it can be successful. Both methods can be successful, and it's not about saying we'll use one method or one method in its entirety. Obviously I prefer the roll method, but it's about understanding your golf swing sometimes. And if you get these flyers, it's understanding that you have to be probably committed with your body to be more consistent, or change your method to the roll method if you wanted to, if you can't do that. So it's just understanding the two different ways of releasing the golf club in the swing, the positive and negatives of both, and then starting to understand your blueprint and what you need to do going forward. Hope you've enjoyed this video on the release. If you have, please click like down below. It does help my channel grow if you do that. Please post any comments, particularly of any videos you want me to cover in the future. Be happy to get back to you with a personal video aimed at your golf faults or interest in the golf swing. And please subscribe if you haven't. I do post videos every single week on a variety of subjects, and I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and it means you don't miss any of my videos in the future. Thank you for watching.